Oh my God, we are live. This is Sound Booth Theater Live, and these are the cold reads for Dungeon Crawler Carl 6, Eye of the Bedlam Bride. Thank you guys so much for coming. So glad to have you all here. Let's see how many. It takes a while for it to load up how many people are actually here, but I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys brought a bunch of friends today. We are starting off. Let's see. We're still on chapter 6, I believe. 4, 5. Yes, we're in the middle of chapter 6. We're about to capture our first Pokemon. So yeah, yep. We got 84. We had 90 something people right at the beginning, and then it switched. We'll see. Come on, bring more people. You know you want to. For those of you who don't know, we have a stretch goal from the original goal. We did hit 500 simultaneous viewers at the beginning of the first cold read for this book. 500 was the goal for. Oh, echoing. Sorry about that. Let me see here. Oh, I don't know why it's echoing. I don't know. I'll go ahead and mute my computer. Let's see here. There we go. All right. Computer is muted. Computer is muted. All right. So we hit 500 at the very beginning, like before the stream even started. So I am officially getting a Princess Donut tattoo on my ass. The question is, what tattoo? What's the design? So our stretch goal is 1,500 viewers simultaneously. If we hit that goal, then we will begin a donut ass tattoo design competition. And what that will entail is people submitting their tattoo designs, and you can get it designed however you want. If you have a tattoo designer friend, if you have a tattoo artist friend, if you know how to design tattoos, or if you just want to use crayon on paper. I'm probably not going to choose it, but you can still submit it, and we will post it. We will be posting all submissions we get publicly, probably on our Facebook group, probably on our Discord channel as well. And yeah, we'll all get to look at it. Everybody gets to be involved and have fun and talk about all the different tattoo designs. We can even have a listener's choice poll or something that won't really matter. You'll get like the opinions of everybody, but I will be ultimately the person who chooses. We're looking for something about the size of a coaster, 2.5 to 3 inches in diameter, something like a nice good stamp right on the ass. So and the only real requirement other than that is that it's Princess Donut, so she can be wearing whatever gear. Whatever your favorite gear that she has, whatever you guys want to do. If we hit that 1,500 viewer goal, I will be choosing from your guys' designs. So, without further ado, let's continue on to chapter 6. I'll go ahead and lead in with the new quest. The new quest that they just received. New quest! The Chowder War! Oh, you're getting involved whether you like it or not. The monk seals. The red Monoceros land crabs. War is brewing, as it often does in these parts. Every season, the land crabs emerge from their forests to attend their sex parties in the oceans surrounding these lands. The monk seals hold the ocean sacred, and the very... There's a problem there. The monk seal... I said sealeds. The monk seals... Oh, what's going on here? Wrong track. The monk seals hold the ocean sacred, and the very act of spilling so much crab chowder into their holy waters is considered a... One more time. The monk seals hold the ocean sacred, and the very act of spilling so much crab chowder into their holy waters is considered a sacrilege most foul. Lands. The monk seals hold the ocean sacred, and the very act of spilling so much crab chowder into their holy waters is considered a sacrilege most foul. This is no minor inconvenience, and it's not just a few little clouds of the batter either. There are a lot of these crabs. Like, a lot. And when they let go, man, it's like a Category 5 jizz storm down there. Fish die. The food becomes scarce. The baby monk seals and their food supplies are literally getting bukkakied to death with gallons of weird, chunky crab splooge. And no, that's not a sentence even I thought I'd ever mutter. Would you want that for your own children? Nope. I didn't think so. It's disgusting, and it must be stopped at all costs. For the red Manicero's land crabs, it's a matter of survival. It's not their fault they can only have babies in the ocean. It's not their fault they've had to wait a whole year to let go. They don't want to do it there. They can barely swim. Water is a terrible lubricant, and to make matters worse, these psychotic seals are always losing their minds every time they get anywhere near the coastline. So, as a method of self-defense, they've learned the deadly art of juego de mani. Choose a side. Put an end to this conflict, one way or another. Reward? You will receive a platinum quest box. All right, and here goes, finishing up Chapter 6. Hope you guys are all ready. Hope you guys have a good time while you're here, and thanks again for coming. I'm going to be watching out for Matt Dinneman. We are Ahmedless today. We do not have my producer with us right now, so no fancy music at this moment, and if Matt shows up, he'll be kind of sitting in the chat for a while until I notice him, and then I'll let him in. Okay, here goes.
Are you kidding me? Caribbean Kung Fu. Is that even a real thing?
I don't know about that, but Juego de Mani is a Cuban... I don't know about that, but Juego de Mani is Cuban... I don't know about that, but Juego de Mani is a Cuban fighting style.
Pa said.
Any Cubans in the audience? I apologize for the accent. I have not done a lot of practice with the Cuban accent. The most I've done so far is just kind of listen to as much Jenny Ortega as I could. If you guys don't know that YouTube channel, she's fucking hilarious. So I think that's her name, Jenny Ortega. Let me make sure. No, not Jenny. Sorry. Was it something Ortega? Oh, crap. Now I feel bad because she's fucking great. And I want to give her a little plug for anyone who hasn't listened or watched her stuff. Jenny Lorenzo. Jenny Lorenzo. Sorry, guys. Jenny Lorenzo is the YouTuber that I studied a little bit. If any of you guys are Cuban, then you should definitely check her out. She's so funny, really great actress. She does a lot of different characters. It's all sketch comedy, and she's from Florida, so she's like a Florida Cuban.
Pa said.
But yeah, apologies for my not so great Cuban accent. It is very real. It is very real. It is very real.
Donut did a little karate kick on my shoulder and made her...
Watcha!
Noise.
Carl, this is like one of those kung fu theater movies you used to watch. Sort of. I don't know if any of them involve crabs jerking off all over baby seals, but it's like one of those movies where two schools are fighting each other. It's like one of those movies where two schools are fighting each other. But what does that have to do with Cuban culture?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's complete bullshit.
Aren't baby seals all white and fluffy? Oh my god, they're so cute! We should see if we can find one.
That's a different type of seal. I'm more curious about these crabs.
The land crabs migrate every year. It's a tourist attraction. But it's not here. It's on the other side of the island It's on the other side of the island into the Bay of Pigs. They live in the forest and move to the water to lay their eggs and... They live in the forest and move to the water to lay their eggs after getting inseminated the normal way. It's millions of them, and I'm pretty sure only the females go into the water. It also happens in the spring, not Christmas time. All of this with clouds of crab spooge is just... All of this with clouds of crab spooge is just made up.
Oh, the dungeon is making crap up? I'm shocked. Baby seals live on the beach too, not the ocean. Baby seals live on the beach too, not the ocean. How big are these crab things? Paz shrugged. His armor clanged.
Nah, the real ones are small. Maybe the size of my hand, but I haven't seen this world's version yet. Wait. Crabs live in the forest? That's a real thing. That sounds made up. Everyone knows crabs live underwater. That sounds made up. Everyone knows crabs live underwater. Yeah, it's real,
Paz said.
Though I think they spend their days in the wetlands. That whole area is a little swampy. They're everywhere on the roads during the migration. You should see it. They get squished by the cars. It ruins people's tires. It stinks. And then the birds come in and eat them all. You can eat them? They are dangerous for people to eat, at least the real ones. Some people eat them anyway, especially the crab eggs, but for medicine, not food. I watched Scarface the other day. Does that count?
We can worry about the crab spooge quest later, I said, refocusing my attention on Iago, the oblivious seal, who remained passed out. Let's get this card.
I want to listen to something real quick. One prologue.
It was pitch black outside, and the room was lit by what seemed their ghosts if we'd chosen her. She'd been used the temporary tiara, and the items came out. I recognized...
Okay.
Did a little karate kick on my Iago, the oblivious seal, who remained...
2.5.
The plan was straightforward. Sister Ines, Donut, and Anton would attack the monster from afar, while Paz and I approached from the sides. Paz would draw the seal's aggro and tank the attacks while I stuck it with the flag. I didn't like the idea of separating from Donut, but we had multiple contingencies in place if things went south, and I made sure Donut had some space between her and the other two. I made Mongo stay back with her. Sister Inez's main melee attack was with her trident, but she mostly fought like Imani did. She buffed everyone around her and hit the mobs with afflictions. Paz was also a healer, and a necromancer too, but the armored cleric was able to absorb a lot of damage. He had a turtle ability, which gave him a temporary, powerful shield while he drew the monster's aggro. I'd seen the ability in action before, and I knew it also rooted him in place and made him unable to attack or move. It was a dangerous ability because once cast, it couldn't be stopped until the timer ran out. If the shield was breached before that, the caster was free, but he'd still suffer the excess damage of the attack that broke through the shield. The plan was for him to walk up on the seal, draw its attention, and get attacked while the others poured fire into it. I'd also approach, invisible. Once the health reached the 5% threshold, I'd swoop in with the flag. The last time they'd tried this, the seal had overwhelmed Paz's defenses too quickly, making it so Anton had to take it out with a one-shot. I wasn't certain what that was, but I assumed it was a powerful, magic-enhanced bolt. As we prepared, I could sense how fluid of a team the other three were. I wondered how it was I'd never seen them before on the recap. I felt a little jealous, honestly, of their relative anonymity. Sister Ines said they'd gone on programs. Sister Ines said they'd gone on programs before, so they weren't completely under the radar. I wondered if that route, just quietly making one's way through the dungeon, was actually better than the path we'd found ourselves upon. Not that I could change that now. Our fame, I realized, was contagious. Whether these three liked it or not, they now had a lot of eyes on them. They weren't dumb. They had to know it, too. That was probably a bigger concern than that obvious bullshit with what Donut had said. Paz clanged loudly as he walked. Iago the seal woke up while we were about Iago the seal woke up while we were about 30 feet away. I downed the invisibility potion and dashed off to the side.
All right, time to do Iago's voice. So I want to do an inferior seal voice at first, because this is going to be the other team's seal. I've pre-read, so this is not like I said at the beginning of the first cold read. This is a cold read in name only. I have read this far, but yeah, there's another seal that they encounter, and I want that to have the better voice because it'll be used more often. This is the stream for the princess butt tattoo, but that's not happening right here now. I mean, obviously, I gotta we gotta figure out what the design of the tattoo is gonna be and everything. So that'll be a stream or video for another day. What I'd really like to do is go to Matt Dinneman's specific tattoo artist, but he's in prison. So if we can go to prison, go to whatever prison he's in, and get my tattoo that way, that'd be great. But if not, we'll what I'd like to do, I don't know, find some famous tattoo artist or something and get some cross promotion shit going on or something.
Off to the side.
Okay. So I want to do a mixture. I want to... no, this is not a U87. This is a Telefunken C12. Don't look it up. You'll have a heart attack. So I want to do a combination of Cuban accent and Chinese accent here. Oh, it says he has a thick Cuban accent. Sorry. All right. Sorry, it's very hot in here. Flipster says, "Are you sure you'd want to reveal your ass in a prison? Sounds risky." We'll see. We'll see. It may not even be possible, so it may be a moot point.
The side.
I think I do still want to make it kind of Chinese. What the fuck do you think you're doing? Oh, I need to... Let's see, this one here, this one here, all right. Hey! 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 Hey!
Iago the seal yelled at Paz, turning to face him.
What the fuck do you think you're doing? You challenging me?
He had a thick Cuban accent. Paz said nothing as he got closer.
Oh, you wanna fight? Is that it? I'll fuck you up! Jackie Chan impersonating a Cuban. Yeah, that's what I would like. I think hopefully it'll sound more like that for the next seal.
The seal then started making some weird Bruce Lee noises.
We are Cuba! I want to hear that one. We are Cuba! Yeah. All right, I gotta remember what the Pokemon Stadium voice sounds like. Warning! That's not it. Combat complete! Deck has been reset! Combat started! There it is. Okay. All right. Combat started! What? That clipped. Combat started!
The seal suddenly reared up, balancing on its tail, its little flippers waving back and forth while he made more kung fu sounds. I watched, fascinated. I'd seen elephant seals smash into each other before, and they would beat the shit out of each other. But this was something completely different. This dude reared up much higher than it should, going completely upright, balancing solely on its back Y-shaped flipper. The thing did not have the anatomy for this type of fighting. The trained ones you would see doing tricks at amusement parks were usually sea lions, which had much longer flippers. Nevertheless, this thing reared up like a giant slug and screamed.
All right, I might as well just do the scream.
Screamed. Screamed.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Okay.
A constant stream of nonsensical kung fu-esque noises emanated from it. It flipped to the side. It did a complete circle in the air, landing back on its flippers with a wet splotch. The movement was quick and smooth. Oh, shit, I thought. A constant stream of nonsensical kung fu-esque noises emanated from it. It flipped to the side. A constant stream of nonsensical kung fu-esque noises emanated from it. It flipped to the side. It did a complete circle in the air. It flipped through the air just as Paws fell forward, transforming into a giant metal shell.
Let's try that again.
It flipped through the air just as Paws fell forward, transforming into a giant metal shell. The seal slammed down onto the shell, hitting so hard the entire beach rocked. An unsteady debuff flashed and was negated as the ground rocked. Holy hell, I thought.
Excuse me.
He'd slammed down on him with enough force to crush a goddamned car. The seal flipped back just as quickly, screaming at the round metal form of Paws.
Yes, the most high-quality burps you will ever hear on the internet. Coward!
He shouted.
Fight me, you metal bitch! Fight me, you metal bitch!
A shield health bar had formed, and it was almost... A shield health bar had formed, and it was almost halfway down. The seal flipped sideways, pinwheeling in a circle around Paz. With each flip, the seal shrieked his own sound effects. Donut. Donut.
Carl, I'm pretty sure this is really racist. Oh, fuck.
But just as Iago the seal moved to attack again, he was hit with 3 bolts at the same time. A full-powered magic missile, a crackling crossbow bolt, and a yellow bolt of magic. The debuff, disoriented, appeared over him as he tumbled back, rolling toward me. He sat up, swaying and swearing. His health had barely gone down. He shook his head and swore again. I, still invisible, took the opportunity to activate Talon Strike and kicked him several times in the side. Thwap, thwap, thwap! He grunted in pain. Another magic missile hit him as 2 more crossbow bolts stuck into his neck. Another magical bolt hit, this one a poison debuff. His attention remained focused on Paz. His health was down to about 30%. I moved to kick him again. Oof! I was hit in the chin with his hand. Ugh! I was hit in the chin with his hind flippers as he flipped forward in the air, lightning quick.
Yep, yep, yep!
He shouted as he flipped.
Oh, wait, he's flipping. Yep, yep, yep!
He shouted as he flipped. His blow on my chin had been glancing, but it had rattled my teeth. I stumbled back. The monk seal slammed once again into Paz's shell. The rocks all around him shattered into dust. Paz's shield held only the smallest sliver of health. Paz.
Guys?
Iago rolled to the side and started yelling some more. The seal suddenly started to glow, just as more bolts tried to slam into him. They didn't hit. Donut cast another magic missile and it sizzled against the new shield. It was a protection spell of some sort. The debuffs over him all went away. Anton.
My bolts aren't getting through. This is something new. The last seal didn't cast this spell.
Sister Ines.
He's protected himself from ranged attacks. I can't get in either.
Pause.
I can't move for another 10 seconds.
Damn it, I thought. I shoved the flag in my mouth and I rushed forward, forming a fist. The seal moved to slam down on Paz one last time. This would probably kill the guy. I rushed up, my gauntlet forming just as my invisibility faded. I punched the seal right in the side of the head. He roared indignantly as he rolled away.
Ow! Oh! Another little bitch! You gonna punch me in the face? Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
The seal shouted, finally moving his attention onto me. He hopped up and down a few times. He did a backflip, then danced to the side. He made more kung fu noises.
What? Watch this!
Oops.
What? Watch this!
Fuck. I dove to the right just as he slammed down upon where I'd been standing. The damn thing was fast. Paz jumped to his feet the moment the turtle ran out. A ridiculously huge mace formed in his hands. The thing was twice as long as he was, with a diamond-shaped head the size of a beer keg.
Watch out!
He cried. He swung, and I hit the ground as the giant mace swung from behind. It slammed into the head of the recovering seal, who grunted and then fell. Landing atop me. Who grunted and then fell, landing atop me. Oof! I wheezed as the heavy, wet form slammed into me. The seal's health suddenly started to blink. It took me a second to realize what that meant.
Flag! Flag!
Someone shouted. It was Sister Ines. All of them, Donut included, were running up on us. Mongo's cry screeched in the air. I struggled to free my arm. I took the flag from my mouth, and I stabbed it right into the side of the head of the seal. Pling! The digital noise echoed loudly through the beach. The seal disappeared in a puff of blue smoke.
Combat complete! Deck has been reset!
Shit, I thought. And that wasn't even a boss battle. I still held something in my hand. A card. I examined it as the others ran up.
Warning! This card is owned by Team Sister Ines. It has not yet been activated. I think I'll do it in the This is normal AI voice. Or should I do it in the Pokemon Stadium voice? I'll do it in the Pokemon Stadium voice, because I want to do more of it. Warning! This card is owned by Team Sister Ines. It has not yet been activated. You may not collect or trade totem cards until they have been activated. This card may only be activated by that team's squad leader.
The back was the same as the utility card we'd collected earlier. The front featured a stylized, screaming version of Yago drawn in a comic book style. The seal now had a blue headband. Several symbols dotted the card, including a green 70 in the top corner, which I knew was the mob's level. There was also a clock with a 60. There was also a clock with a 60 and a heart with a 125. A little symbol featuring a wave of water was emblazoned on the side with a fist under it and a shield under that. A little symbol featuring a wave of water was emblazoned on the side with a fist under it and a shield under that. A whole row of other symbols ran across the bottom of the rigid card.
Tagi card. Uncommon. Totem card. Yago. Monk Seal Picket Sentry. You want to fight me? You sure about that? Level 70. Origin, Cuba. Summoning duration, 60 seconds. Constitution, 125. This is an aquatic mob. This is a melee mob. This is a tank mob. Notable attacks, Kung Fu Master, Body Slam, Earthquake, Deflector. +5 additional skills and spells. Examine in the Squad Details tab of your interface for full stats and skills and spells. Warning! You have empty slots in your squad. Collecting this card will automatically activate and place this totem into your squad. You may not remove or trade squad members until your squad is full. If you wish to remove a card before your squad is full, you will have to tear the card.
We definitely wanted to get one of these guys.
Call, there's another seal incoming. Call, there's another seal coming,
Donut said. Donut said as I handed the card off to Sister Ines. This new seal moved rapidly across the beach, headed straight for us, shouting. As it got closer, I noted this guy was the exact same level, but this one's name was Geraldo. So, you want to do it again?
And that's the end of the chapter. Boom. Let's see. I need to rename this file real quick. Here it is. Oh no! Shit. I just did something dumb. I think I just doubled up all the files in this thing. Yep, that's what I did. Oh well. And I'll uh-oh. What happened here? What the fuck? Sorry guys, I think I just destroyed everything. Everything's gone. No, it's not all gone. It's just being annoying. Files are missing. Click here to learn more. Alright. Set folder. Ah, boy. Sorry guys, this is just loading up. Well, that's a chapter. I'm getting on to the next chapter here in a second once this is done loading. I want to thank everybody again for coming. We're at almost 180 people right now, which is amazing. Another thing, someone told me today that even though they don't follow me or have never actually gone on the SBTL YouTube channel, they never watch anything to do anything audiobook related even, that our stream, this stream has been popping up in their feed. So that means that we set off the algorithm, guys. That means that, you know, we've got the attention of the damn evil mega computer that's running YouTube, which is amazing. So you know, the number of people that have been coming through, that's what's happening. We're reaching it. We're reaching people, and hopefully that means more and more people will find out about this series. They'll see this and they'll go, what the fuck? and they'll investigate, and then they will love it. Also, we've gotten like more than 1,000 extra subscribers in the last month, so you guys have all been just so fantastic. So thank you again. I really appreciate it. And the more attention we get to the YouTube channel, the more they're going to find our other stuff. The more likely we will be to get to that 1,500 simultaneous viewers number. So that you can have that fun competition running on what goes on my butt. And so, yeah, really appreciate it, guys. And if between streams, make sure to check out everything else on our channel yourselves. The first episode of the cinematic audio version of Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon is here on YouTube. It's on our channel, so you can listen to the whole thing there. And if you like it, you can go to our website, pick it up for free there, and then buy the rest of the series. It's 12 episodes total, and it's full cast, sound effects, and music. It's absolutely amazing. It's one of my most favorite productions we've ever done. It's absolutely epic and disgusting and evil and messed up. So, listener discretion is advised. This is an audio listening challenge because you will be disturbed. Yeah, there's that. And of course, watch out for the audio immersion tunnel for Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is not called cinematic audio for legal reasons. But it is also full cast, sound effects, and music, and the first episode of that will release for free on our platform the same day that Dungeon Crawler Carl 6 releases on Audible. So don't worry, anyone who doesn't like sound effects and music, we're never changing the Dungeon Crawler Carl audiobooks that are on Audible, but if you come to our website, the not called cinematic audio for legal reasons version will be exclusive to our platform. So, watch out for that. All right, I think this is done. Jeez, Ableton. All right, let's see if I can get this to move. Damn it. I think I broke Ableton. I think I totally broke it. Oh. Yep. All right. Oh, you know what? I've been forgetting to also pimp out. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Sound Booth Theater has been working with Athon Books quite a lot lately. And on June 20th, that's day before yesterday, on Tuesday, when we first started the stream, we released the first book of A Summoner Awakens, which is a new lit RPG written by an author named Kerberos. And it's basically a tower climber with kind of a flashback aspect. The main character starts off the story as an old man who's learned a lot about the world, but his abilities have caused him to sacrifice a lot of his own physical health in order to use his abilities. So he becomes a teacher, but he's completely out of energy, and there's a clock that runs out at the very beginning of the book, and there's an apocalypse that starts, and when that starts, the demons pop out and kill everybody and kill him. But when he dies, he goes back in time about 100 years, and his old man self repossesses his young self's body. He's still in wizard school, wizard university, and so he's able to reset with his old experienced mind, and he gets to replay his whole life. So it's called A Summoner Awakens by Kerberos. It's on Audible now. I narrated as an old man, and the longer the old man was in his younger body, the more his younger voice starts taking over his inner dialogue. So his inner monologue, so his voice changes. It was a really fun project to narrate. I'll continue to narrate it because I had so much fun with it. The writing is incredible. It's a really good series, so come on, Ableton. Ableton is just like fucked right now. I destroyed my computer. One sec, guys. Sorry about all these technical difficulties. This is frustrating. Okay, it hasn't repopulated. All right, let's see here. How many chapters we getting in this one? This is chapter 7, 90 pages. So at 180 pages, we're on chapter 16. All right, next chapter. Ah! Come on, Ableton. Go. All right, chapter 7. Thanks again, guys, for your patience. Thanks for hanging out while I worked out those technical difficulties. We're back at it now, on to chapter 7.
Chapter 7. After we collected that second card, adding Geraldo the monk seal as our first squad member, we abandoned the coast and started to move into the city in hopes of finding a safe room. It didn't take long. Donut spotted one a few blocks deeper into the city. This was a less touristy area, filled with homes and small shops. We all traveled together. After that last fight, everyone was more comfortable with each other. Donut even seemed to have eased off on her distaste for Sister Ines. We passed through an intersection filled with a pile of crashed cars and bicycles and mopeds, but the circle of cars wasn't very big. No cars came from any direction, but there were still people out and about with clothing on. A few bicycles still appeared. We squeezed between a wrecked classic Chevrolet and the wall of a building as Zev messaged. Zev.
Hi, guys. Hi, guys.
Donut.
Hi, Zev. How are you?
Zev.
So, I have some news. You were scheduled to go on Odette's show tonight, but she has decided to take several days off.
Donut.
Oh, no! Is she okay?
Zev. Zev.
She's fine. She usually moves to the system's orbit for faction wars, and Prepotente's still stunt-accelerated everyone's schedule, so she's traveling.
Little stunt.
She's fine. She's fine. She usually moves to the system's orbit for faction wars, and Prepotente's little stunt accelerated everyone's schedule, so she's traveling. We moved your scheduled interview to later. Plenty of Plenty also wanted you on, but I turned them down on your behalf. We have multiple offers on the table, but we wanted to get you on something quickly since it's been a while. I have you two scheduled on a program called Shadow Boxer. It's an interview about your lives before the crawl. You'll be going on tomorrow after the recap.
Carl. Yeah, I'm not interested in rehashing all that bullshit with B again. Nobody wants that. Zev.
I'll tell them Beatrice is off limits. That won't be the subject anyway. This is more like that Earth Beautiful program where... This is more like that Earth Beautiful program you went on a few weeks back, but this one is exploring the tale of Earth through storytelling and vignettes about the lives of some of the contestants. It won't be live, and it'll be a documentary-style interview. They want to focus on your life, Carl. They want to focus on your life, Carl. They want to focus on your life, Carl, when you were 15 to 18 years old. So the time when you were left without a... So the time when you were left without a guardian until your age of majority when you joined the Navy.
Donut.
What about me?
Zev.
They want to talk to you about how certain television programs shaped your perceptions. You two will go up to the show together, but your interviews will be split into 2 different programs. You'll be together the whole time.
Carl. I was in the Coast Guard, not Navy. And no, all that crap is nobody's goddamn business. Pick something else. We can just do the donut interview, but that's it. Zev.
They want to interview both of you. I should note that this program is also listed as an NFC nonprofit, and it is owned by one of your sponsors, the Open Intellect Pacifist Network. I'll be required to be there, and because it's a program owned by a sponsor, a liaison will also be present to make certain the sponsor doesn't give you an unfair advantage. They really want you on that program. The both of you.
God damn it. I considered this for a few moments. A liaison? I remembered what Oren the liaison had said to us near the end of the previous floor. He'd been trying to warn us about something, but I still didn't understand what it was. Still, if this program was put together by the Open Intellect Pacifist Network, there had to be something to it. Carl. Okay. Donut.
Yay! I can talk about Gossip Girl and Riverdale and the Yay! I can talk about Gossip Girl and Riverdale and the Vampire Diaries.
She audibly gasped on my shoulder as she realized something.
Vampire Diaries.
Donut.
Zev, they should interview you too. Zev, they should interview you too.
Zev.
Sorry, Donut. I'm not allowed to make media appearances. But that reminds me, you two also have a pre-production meeting in a few days. I'm not certain of the exact time yet.
Carl. What does that mean? Zev.
It's for the 9th floor. A team of reps from all 9 faction wars participants will attend. Usually, the meeting is relegated to lower-tier executives from each team, but your army currently consists of you two, your lawyer, a bunch of NPCs, and Donut's fan club. Since policy items for the game will be discussed, I took the liberty of assuming you'll want to be there. Since policy items for the game will be discussed, I took the liberty of assuming you'll want to be there. You'll be getting a glimpse of something very few people ever will. And yes, Donut, before you ask, these events are usually catered.
Carl. Wait. Will this be in person? Zev.
Don't get too excited, Carl. They're insisting your presence be virtual. You'll be at the production facility.
Donut.
But it will still be catered, right?
Zev.
Yes, Donut.
Zev.
Don't get too excited, Carl. They're insisting your presence be virtual.
Can you stream on TikTok? I didn't know you could stream on TikTok.
Is everything all right?
Sister Inez asked as I stepped to avoid a man riding a bicycle rickshaw. The bike slammed right into a crashed car, and the ghost of the rider disappeared into the mess. I moved to grab the bike, but the front tire had bent. I moved to grab the bike, but the front tire had bent in the crash. I left it. Yeah, we're dealing with our interview schedule.
It must be a lot of work,
she said with a hint of sarcasm. I held up my hand as another message came in, this one from Bautista giving an update on Tran. The man, who'd lost both his legs and his good friend Gwen at the end of the previous floor, was finally out and about, learning how to use his new floating wheelchair. Anton let out an exasperated breath. As we made our way to the safe room, both Donut and Sister Inez sensed a group of small monsters a few streets over, pinging about. We went to investigate and found a mass of hairy, gnome-like creatures crawling over a pile of wrecked cars. These were common, level 20 monsters called duendes.
Okay, I'll think about that for the next stream.
Duendes.
Duendes, maybe? Should it be duendes?
Duendes. Called duendes. Monsters called duendes.
Where'd it go? There.
They were all over the place. There had to be at least 100 of them, and those were only the ones we could see.
I want to see what does that word mean in Spanish? A quality of passion and inspiration. In the folklore of Spain, Portugal, Latin America, and the Philippines, a supernatural being or spirit resembling a pixie or imp. Okay. All right, Matt said he won't be joining the stream, but he might show up in the chat.
Ones we could see. I quickly pulled out the Book of Lore. I remembered seeing these guys in the first section under Common Monsters. Each one was about a foot tall and dressed in rags. They all looked like tiny, angry, homeless men. I didn't have time to read the entire entry, but it said they didn't have any special or magical attacks.
Not homeless men, homeless men.
They all looked like tiny, angry, homeless men. They all looked like tiny, angry... I didn't have time to read the entire entry, but it said they didn't have any special or magical attacks. The portrait in the book depicted one of them holding what appeared to be a giant pair of nail clippers. One of the ones here were armed with anything at all. None of the ones here were armed with anything at all except their sharp teeth. They were small, but they were big enough that they got hit by a bike or a moped. None of the ones... They were small, but they were big enough that if they got hit by a bike or a moped, it would knock the bike over, which meant these little assholes were likely the cause of most of the car crashes in the area. As we approached, I watched a pair launch themselves at a ghost riding a bike. They tackled through his clothes, causing the bike, his pants, and his shoes to go flying off his body. The oblivious ghost continued on his way. The little monsters emerged from the wreckage, each holding onto one of the man's shoes. They both ripped the shoes up, growling like dogs with a chew toy. I saw another duende had amassed a whole pile of shoes and was upside down in a boot, legs dangling in the air, like he was dumpster diving for something. He emerged, angrily chittering. The AI's description on the mobs was strange. It was unusually short. I examined the one in the boot.
Oh yeah, I would not do TikTok instead of here. Cheryl expressed her concern. No. YouTube for sure, but if I do TikTok, it'll be as well. So
I examined the one in the boot.
Mordecai! Duende. Level 20. Screw these guys. Kill them. Carl, look! He has the same name as Mordecai! We should put him in our squad. What?
I don't think these guys are squad-worthy.
What?
I don't think these guys are squad-worthy. A moment later, one of them spied us, and combat initiated. Screams rose up and down the street. The monsters growled and charged, but they were physically weak and didn't coordinate with one another, some of them even fighting each other for the chance to get to us first. We moved into 3 separate groups. Sister Inez's squad moved across the street. Donut and I posted up near the line of buildings, and Mongo rushed out, gleefully ripping them to pieces. He ate Mordecai the Duende first. Killing them was not difficult. As we fought, my new essence bar quickly filled. It only took about 10 kills to fill it all the way to the top. The bar itself took on a sickly brown hue that swirled oddly with yellow and green flecks, reminding me of sewage with oil spilled in it. Just looking at the bar made me feel a little ill. Once the essence bar became fully charged, I received a notification. It was in a new voice, deep and ominous.
Hey, Matt's in the chat. The AI hates these guys. All right. Oh. Yeah, so, new, deep, and ominous voice. Matt, is there a voice you kind of had in mind for this? I think it's specifically for the scavenger's daughter, the daughter's kiss thing. How about for the card game announcer, I used the Pokemon Stadium voice. Oh, like the Kaiju AI voice. Okay. Got it. So what I'll do... Actually, that Kaiju voice... That Kaiju voice was mainly my normal voice. It was just they used effects on it, so... But I think we can tone the effects down a little, just to make it a little easier to understand.
The scavenger's death has been fed. Unleash her wrath. A new skill appeared in my interface. The daughter's kiss. Once activated, it would completely drain my essence bar and make my next melee attack. Once activated, it would completely drain my essence bar and make my next melee attack extra powerful. I needed to use it as soon as possible because it was apparently dangerous to walk around with a full essence bar. I still wasn't clear on how it was unsafe, but I wasn't about to wait around to find out. Each time I filled and then drained the bar itself grew, requiring more souls to fill for the next attack, which would also be more powerful. Donut spit a glob of poison at a screaming duende.
Need more water.
Donut spit a glob of poison at a screaming duende. The green, sticky poison blob stuck to the monster's face. The green, sticky poison blob stuck to the monster's face, causing him to fall over. The consistency of the stuff reminded me of the slime from the Ghostbusters movie. The consistency of the stuff reminded me of the slime from the Ghostbusters movies. The mob's skin started to bubble, and he quickly died. It was a skill, not a spell, and it was currently at level 5, but with low-level monsters, it was especially effective. She had a short cooldown for it, too, like 15 seconds.
Carl, that awful back patch on your jacket is glowing. What did you do? Mongo, no! You're going to ruin your dinner!
Mongo flew through the air and landed atop a bus, metal screeching against his claws. He had a squealing duende in his mouth. He crunched down and swallowed. It's probably because my new essence bar thing is full. What does it look like?
Hang on, it's hard to see because of your cape thing.
She jumped to my shoulder and pushed it aside. She made a disgusted noise and jumped back down.
Ugh, those weird stitches all around the pile of skulls are glowing, but they're glowing brown, and I can't tell what it's supposed to be. Not all of them are lit up. Maybe an aardvark? It just looks dreadful. It looks just dreadful. An aardvark? It looks just dreadful.
It's not an aardvark. I said. I zeroed in on a single duende. It was rushing down the street away from Mongo. He was looking over his shoulder at the dino atop the bus, screaming. The creature dragged a shoe with him as he fled. I activated the daughter's kiss skill. I jumped toward the fleeing monster, and I crushed down with my foot. I was expecting to knock him over with the attack, as he was just a little too big to simply smush. The creature exploded into nothing. There was no resistance at all. The concrete sidewalk under my foot shattered into dust and rocks. A small shockwave burst forth, throwing all the remaining duendes to their backs. Mongo screeched in outrage as the crashed bus he stood upon rocked. A window in a nearby building shattered. Across the street, the 3 other crawlers stopped fighting to look at me. Across the street, the 3 other crawlers stopped fighting to look at me. I just stood there for a moment. A bolt of something whipped through me, like an aftershock of the souls leaving my body. That ill feeling I'd momentarily felt was gone. Mostly.
Wow!
Donut said, jumping up to my shoulder.
Now that was impressive. And the aardvark image on your back went away and the aardvark image on your back went away when you did it.
It's going to get stronger each time I do it, too, I said. I lifted my foot, and it wasn't even gory. I'd vaporized the damn thing. There wasn't anything left to even loot. The shoe it had been dragging was scorched and flattened, like it had been crushed with an industrial press.
Carl, are you okay? You have a weird look on your face. You have a weird look on your face. You have a weird...
I think so. I just wasn't expecting it to feel like that. Come on, let's mop the rest up. After it was done, Donut and I collected a total of 3 common utility cards. 2 of them were time extend cards, which doubled the amount of time a summoned totem would last, and the third was a stout card, which added 25% to a mob's health for the duration of combat. The cards were not one-time consumables like our combo card. Team Sister Ines also received 3 cards. 2 were the same time extend cards. They also received an uncommon special card titled Flee. That one could only be used once, and it teleported the whole squad away from combat. It didn't say how far or where it teleported them to. We still weren't sure how deck combat worked. Donut said she'd tried to summon the monk seal when we were fighting the duendes, and she got an error message. I knew we'd receive an explanation soon during the next announcement. We made our way to the safe room, which was a small coffee shop named Cuba Libro.
Matt, if you wanna take this note down, there's a little typo here. Where'd it go? It says name instead of named. Cuba Libro. That's page 87. Let me get that. Let me get some more water.
Cuba Libro. A street over was a park with dozens of more mobs within. Donut said these were more human-sized. We'd check it out later. So, are you guys in a guild? I asked Sister Ines as we entered the shop.
No.
The nun said.
Team Flamenco wants us to join up, but we've decided to stay alone. You should definitely join with us,
Donut said.
We share in all of the upgrades, including this really nice shower, and beds that make it so you hardly have to sleep at all. You get the training room upgrade, and there's a really nice bobka in the common area. Also, you can meet Kotya and Bomo and Mordecai. The real Mordecai, not the duende that Mongo just ate. We like it the way it is. We like it the way it is. We have the upgraded bed already. What about the upgraded litter box? I bet you don't have the upgraded litter box. I don't use a litter box, Donut. I don't use a litter box, Donut.
Donut made an outraged noise and Donut made an outraged noise and mumbled something under her breath.
Donut. Well,
Donut
never.
made an out.
Well, what should I
Donut
expect?
made an out. Donut
Well,
made an
what should I have
outraged
expected?
noise and mumbled something under her breath. Donut
Well,
made an
what should I have
outraged
expected?
noise and
We'll leave it out.
We moved into the situationally generated hall leading to a personal space doorways. We moved into the situationally generated hall leading to our personal space doorways. We agreed to meet up again after the recap. We'd clear out the park and start moving out of the city and into the rural areas in search of more powerful mobs to hunt and capture. We watched the three enter their personal space. As they opened and went inside, I could see they had one of the smaller-sized ones where everyone slept in the same room. Donut.
I like Paz, and I think Anton is okay even if he's grumpy and is completely unemployable with those tattoos, but I don't trust the woman. And it's not just because she's a cat girl. There's something weird about her.
Carl. I'm still on the fence. I think they're okay, but they're scared of us. It doesn't help that they'd been told you were going to kill them. Every new person we meet will have gone through some serious shit to get to this point, and we have to keep that in mind. Donut.
She doesn't even use a litter box, Carl. It's highly suspicious. Next chapter. We're making good time right now. We got like a little more than an hour and a half left. I've gone through a chapter and a half. Doing pretty good.
Chapter 8. Almost the entirety of the recap episode was redacted. We watched a group of crawlers get attacked and gored by the goddamned Easter Bunny. The rabbit appeared to be some sort of undead creature, and he ripped the limbs off the poor crawlers and stuffed their pieces into large plastic eggs afterward. We watched another group in Tokyo running while getting chased by what looked like a sentient umbrella, only to get wiped out by a bus. Then we watched Ellie beat the living shit out of the same Sasquatch she was talking about earlier and then stick it with her flag. Prepotente single-handedly flagged and captured a giant bat. After that, it flashed to a studio setting with several faces in little boxes before it all went blank. It remained that way for almost a full hour. Did you see that gleaner next to Kevin the announcer? Mordecai asked. That's Prime Minister Glory, the boss of the entire syndicate. It's very unusual for him to appear on the show. I'm going to get that babka in the office shop drunk and steal his newsletter. Also, see if you can find a Desperado club. We need supplies. Once the show finally ended, the top 10 list repopulated. It remained nearly the same, with Prepotente at the top, Donut at number 2, and me at number 3. Lucia Marr was number 4. The next were Ellie, Katya, and Florin. Osvaldo was number 8, making his first appearance on the list. He was a level 60 Kurupira Ranger. He was a level 60 Kurupira Ranger. I had no idea what the race Kurupira meant, and neither did Mordecai. He looked human. Number 9 was Lena, and number 10 was a woman named Burku, also a newcomer to the list. I'd met her briefly during the Butcher's Masquerade, and I had her in my chat. She was a level 59 badger-headed porsuck, which was the same race as all the bartenders at the Desperado Club. Her class was a swashbuckler, the same as Tran and Bautista. Burku, Osvaldo, and Prepotente had all gotten into a fight after we'd killed Imogen at the end of the previous floor. I'd been knocked out during it. A moment later, Cascadia started her announcement. She was back to her annoying, condescending self.
Hello, crawlers. This is going to be a long message, so sit down, shut up, and listen. Here's the card system. Most of you aren't ready to use this yet. These instructions and rules also appear in your deck tab on your interface. Make sure you familiarize yourself with these rules. Your life depends on it. You will not encounter mobs that utilize a card system in your current location. However, as a squad leader, you will still have the option to summon your deck to use during battle. This functionality will become active at the end of this message and can be activated This functionality will become active at the end of this message and can be activated by removing the full and activated deck from your inventory during combat. Also, if you wish to practice deck-to-deck combat, you should consider attacking another squad. Doing so might give you some much-needed experience with the combat system. Plus, if you kill another squad, you may claim all of their cards. Isn't that great?
Go fuck yourselves, I muttered up at the screen.
Gameplay is quite simple. Each squad must have 6 totems active in their deck. You may activate your deck with as little as 6 cards total. You may have as many utility, mystic, snare, and special cards as you want. However, if you have too many, you risk pulling a hand with no totem cards at all, which will leave you exposed. There are 5 types of cards. Totems, which are the summonable monsters, utility cards, which can only be played on one or more of your summoned totems, snare cards, which can only be played on an enemy's totem, mystic cards, which are similar to regular magic spells, and special cards, which are usually one-time use. These have many varying effects. Combat is engaged when a nearby monster's aggro is activated and they are actively hunting you. Combat disengages when the mobs are dead, rendered neutral, or one of the parties has fled. If the squad leader dies during deck combat, the deck will transfer to the next in line, overlapping combat with multiple mobs will count as a single session. Keep this in mind when entering a target-rich environment, as most totems cannot be reused once the monster is knocked out. If an opponent owns enough cards to make a deck, deck-to-deck combat is initiated. Using your deck is no longer optional in this case, so it's in your best interest to keep your active deck in the best shape as possible. Deck-to-deck combat comes with a few additional rules that I'm sure you'll figure out as you go. Once deck combat is initiated, the squad leader loses access to their regular magic abilities and their inventory system. They may still fight using melee attacks. They may use potions, scrolls, wands, etc., as long as the items are physically available to them. Most summoned totems may not directly attack the opponent's squad leader if any enemy totems are present. That doesn't mean the squad leader will be safe. It will be the responsibility of the other squad members to keep the squad leader safe during deck combat. Once all cards in your deck are played or discarded, the squad leader regains their ability to use their Once all cards in your deck are played or discarded, the squad leader regains their ability to use their inventory and spells.
Okay, I just realized I'm using the wrong track for this, so let me go down to speaker here. Change to orange. Wrong orange. This one.
Message. So sit down, shut up, and listen. Here's the card system.
Woohoo! No tramp stamps, guys. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Someone asks, Jeff, totally random question. If money was no object, what car would you like to have in your garage? I don't know. I'm not that much of a car guy. I like my car. I have an Audi A6, so it's fine. Maybe I'd get an Audi A8. I've never driven a Tesla, so I might try one of those. They sound cool. They sound nice. They also sound like there might be they might be troublesome, problematic a bit.
God damn it. I said out loud.
What? What does that even mean? All I hear is blah blah blah, nerd squeak, blah blah blah.
I'll explain in a bit. I'll explain in a bit. I'll explain in a bit, I said. I said, reaching up to scratch her.
The moment combat initiates, 4 random cards from the deck will be drawn. The squad leader may use any or all of them as they wish. If you pull 4 totems, you may summon all 4 totems at once. The monsters will appear, and assuming you have proper control over them, they will attack your opponents. All totems are summoned for a specific amount of time as indicated on their card. If the totem is killed, they are knocked out for the remainder of combat. If the totem is still alive when they time out, the card will return to your deck in most cases, and not the discard pile. Injured and debuffed totems do not heal between summonings in the same combat. Utility cards may only be played on an actively summoned totem. Most buffs will remain on the monster for the duration of combat, even over multiple summonings. Snare cards may only be played when an opponent has an actively summoned totem. These debuffs will remain persistent throughout multiple summonings of the same card. Mystic cards usually have a direct effect on squads, squad leaders, or the squad leader's deck. Special cards have varying abilities. When a card is used from your hand, it will be replaced by the next card in the deck at the rate of 1 card every 10 seconds. You may discard any card in your hand. You start combat with the ability to discard a single card. It will move to the discard pile and will be unusable for the remainder of combat. This ability resets once every 30 seconds. And that's pretty much it. It's simple enough, even you dry monkeys will figure it out. Just a reminder, this is not a turn-based environment, so speed and squad synergy are important. Don't forget, we're trying to entertain the viewers. Make sure you pick the most powerful, colorful monsters and abilities you can. You're gonna need it for part 2 of this floor. Starting at the end of this message, all safe room locations will also include a practice arena where you may, for a fee, enter and summon your totem cards in a limited mock battle environment. This is the only place you can do this. The Mercenary Training Arcade some of you may have purchased for your guild hall will not work for this. You do not need a full deck to utilize this service. The opponent monsters summoned by the system will not have their own decks, nor can they harm you directly. Warning! You may use your consumable and other one-time use cards in the practice arena, but they will not return. Consumable cards may only be used once, ever, even in a practice environment. If you have cards with cooldown restrictions, such as the once-a-day Grand Finale card, the cooldown will not reset at the end of the practice session. So, keep that in mind. There are lots of...
Who just texted my ass? Who just did that? I don't know. I want to get some damn revenge on whoever it was. Oh, nobody. I don't know. Yeah, there we go.
There are lots of amazing cards out there. Use these remaining 13 days before the assault to collect as many as you can. If you share an area with another squad, feel free to murder them for their cards. Only the teams with the best decks will survive. Now get out there and kill. Kill, kill. Carl, this is just like that nerdy Pokemon game you used to play. Or that one with the guy with the spiky hair that didn't make any sense. What was it called? Yugoslavia or something?
Woo! It's either Randy or Rebecca.
It's not really like either of those. Like she said, most of those games are turn-based. This is going to be more complicated, especially if we don't know what cards our opponents have. You'll be without your magic or
I keep wanting to say inventory.
especially if we don't know what cards our opponents have. You'll be without your magic or
Did it again.
You'll be without your magic or inventory until we use all your cards, and we won't know how strong the monsters we face are. You'll be without your magic or You'll be without your magic or inventory. You'll be without your magic or inventory until we use all your cards, and we won't know how strong the monsters we face.
Fuck. We face fuck.
You'll be without your magic or inventory until we use all your cards, and we won't know how strong the monsters we face are until combat is engaged. It's going to suck. We need to make sure we have some of those flea cards that other squad got, and hopefully we can find some good snare cards too. Katya was already in the chat, organizing a list of all the known card types. The list was painfully thin so far. I've seen them use the cards before, but it's never been anything quite like this, Mordecai said. It sounds like the enemies in Part 2 will all be intelligent mobs carrying decks. You'll likely have to fight your way to a boss who'll have the key to get to the stairwell, and then you gotta somehow get yourselves back here to use it. Let's get to the practice room and see how well Geraldo the monk seal can fight, I said. Donut and I still both had fan boxes to open too, but they weren't quite ready yet. We'd have to wait until later. I moved toward the door, but I was interrupted by a message from Samantha. Samantha.
So, good news and bad news.
Carl. What is it? Samantha.
I found a big boss monster. She's a mage. The right kind of mage to get me into my body, too. I told you I'd find one.
Christ, I thought. She'd found something a lot more quickly than I'd anticipated. Carl. What's the bad news? Samantha.
She ate me. You have to come get me. It's very squishy in here. My word.
Donut said aloud. Donut said out loud.
She sure gets herself into a lot of trouble, doesn't she?
Carl. God damn it, Samantha. You were supposed to stay away from the monsters, remember? Observe and report. How do you know she's the right type of mage? She needs to be a pulpmancer. Mordecai says they're pretty rare. Samantha.
She is very powerful. She can do it. She told me.
Carl. She told you? Donut.
Did she tell you before or after she ate you?
Samantha.
It was during. She is very talkative. I think she is lonely. You need to come talk her into helping. You need to come talk her into helping you.
Carl. How are we going to do that with you in her stomach? We're going to have to kill her to get you out. Samantha.
I don't know why I have to come up with all the solutions.
Donut.
What kind of monster is she?
Samantha.
She won't be a problem.
Carl. That's not an answer. Samantha.
So, do you know what a spider is? She's kinda like that.
An involuntary shiver washed over me. Carl, how big of a spider? And where are you? Samantha.
I am all the way at the southern coast of the island, near the mouth of the big bay.
That had to be the very edge of the zone. Carl. What the hell? How'd you get there so fast? You said you couldn't fly yet. Samantha.
I hitched a ride. It is not important. You gotta come get me.
Carl. Okay, but it's going to be a few days. And you didn't answer my question. Samantha.
How big is she? She's not too big. She's a lot smaller than most minor goddesses. She's a lot smaller than most minor goddesses.
I took a deep breath. Carl. Carl. Samantha? Samantha.
What?
Carl. 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 Minor goddess? You're in the stomach of a god? Samantha.
Not a real one. Well, okay, maybe half a real one. That's how I found her. I felt her presence. She's a demigod. Probably never even got an invite to a party. Not a good one, at least. She lives here in the swamp. You can't miss her. She has a web over the whole area. It's disgusting and sticky. Her name is Maria something. She Maria, I think. We have a lot in common. She says she's looking for her husband. Our fangs have a very lovely shimmer to them.
I pulled out the Bahamas book, turned to the index, and I found her listed. She, Maria, was listed in a sub-index as one of the monster's alternate names. She was listed in the very last section of the book, under unique monsters.
Oh, yeah. Matt said, I just went back and listened to the narration of the Yago fight. That's definitely something you want to put together and release in the future. Yeah. I think what I'll do is I'll take, after this one is done, I'm going to take all 3 of the clips, send them to my video editor guy, and say, hey, make a highlight video out of these 3, and then release that.
Monsters. Yikes, I said. I turned the book to show Donut and Mordecai. Donut peered closely at the image of the screaming Spider-Woman.
Goodness, that lady really needs moisturizer.
So the plan is to abandon Samantha, right? Mordecai asked. He shook his pointy head. Nope. Though she might be stuck in the thing's stomach for a while. I'm thinking maybe this is a great candidate for one of our squad members' spots. Are you crazy? Is that really a question?
It says one of her special attacks is permanent insanity, and another is permanent blindness.
Yeah, we're gonna have to plan this one out ahead of time. Donut continued to peer at the page.
Why does she have so many names? She has 20 different names. The Screamer, that sounds like a porn name. The Reviled, Kwaku's Love. The Corrupted Paramour. That one does not roll off the tongue. That one does not roll off the tongue. Ooh, I like this one.
She looked up at us, eyes big.
The Bedlam Bride. Now that's a proper name. The Bedlam Bride. The Bedlam Bride. Now that's a proper name.
And that's a chapter. Moving along. Making good time. Where are we at? 140. If you're brave enough. Someone said, those all sound like porn names, if you're brave enough.
Chapter 9. December 12. Assault begins December 24. Totems in deck, 1 of 6. Total cards in current deck, 5. Entering the mock battle arena.
Oh, man. Should I do this with the Pokemon Stadium voice?
Entering the mock battle arena.
Entering the mock battle arena! Warning! You do not have a full deck. Warning! You have a consumable card in your deck. This card will be lost if used in this arena. Warning! While generated mobs cannot harm you in this location, the environment still can. Or you can still harm yourself. Try not to die in here because that would be really dumb and anticlimactic. Nope, looks like it's supposed to be the normal AI or the fucked up normal AI, whatever. I don't know. I'll leave it alone because I kind of like that. Choose your difficulty.
Carl, what should I pick? Hey, it's 1,000 gold if you want to fight an easy opponent, 2,000 for one Hey, it's 1,000 gold if we want to fight an easy opponent, 2,000 for one equal to our deck, and 5,000 if we want a challenge. This is an outrage. Wait, it says more options appear if we beat it at... Wait, it says more options appear if we beat it at challenge difficulty. Let's do that.
No. Do the easy one first to see what that Do the easy one first to see what that really means. Plus, we don't know if this SEAL guy is going to follow our instructions. He was pretty pissed when I stuck him with that flag. We met Sister Inez's squad just outside, and we went into the mock battle arena together, which was just another door in the situationally generated hall. We all entered at the same time, but when the door closed, it was just me, Donut, and Mongo standing in the cavernous room. Mongo screeched, and his voice echoed. The place was huge. The room was like a giant airplane hangar, similar to the room where we'd picked our subclasses at the beginning of the 6th floor. It was featureless with gray, corrugated metal walls, and It was featureless with gray, corrugated metal walls and lit with dingy, blue light that didn't seem to come from anywhere. The floor was made of solid concrete. A cool breeze swept through. Donut suddenly gasped.
I can choose the environment. There's lots of options.
Be careful.
Options.
Be careful. Did you read the warning? Don't choose a place that sounds dangerous. The room flashed. I felt a quick bout of nausea, and suddenly the concrete floor turned to dirt. Mongo screeched in surprise. A cheer rose up all around us. My ears popped. I turned in a full circle, looking about with awe. We were in a massive, packed arena, bigger than before. The roof was gone, and a yellow, almost cartoonish sun beat down on us. The shimmer of a bubble spread above it all. Like we were under a dome. The gravity here felt like it was only 3/4 of normal. The gravity here felt like it was only 3/4 of normal. I did a quick hop, and I jumped much higher than usual.
Hang on, Carl. I'm going to make it so we weigh normal.
So we weigh normal. I love that.
Donut said. She moved her paw like she was adjusting a slider. I felt myself get slightly heavier.
There we go. This is quite customizable.
A knee-high field of purple flowers suddenly sprouted from the dirt. Mongo sneezed, and Donut swept her paw, taking the flowers away, leaving a field of green grass. She grumbled some more, and a few trees sprouted around the area. Each time she changed something, the arena's crowd cheered enthusiastically. All were the same creatures. Thousands and thousands of robe-clad people wearing thousands and thousands of robe-clad people wearing large hats. I recognized them. We'd faced similarly dressed hunters on the previous floor. It was a nomadic religious cult called the Nebulars. What the hell did you pick?
Battle begins in 10 seconds! Deck is locked in place!
It was called Arena of the Eulogist, or something like that. The picture was a Colosseum thing with a bunch of cheering fans. I didn't realize it would be these guys. It doesn't let me change the people, which is quite unfortunate, but I can choose how much they like us. I put it all the way to the top. I put it all the way to the top. Like us. I put it all the way to the top. I put it all the way to the top.
Mongo screeched again, this time fearfully. Can you choose what the opponent is? Can you choose what the opponent is?
Sadly, no. It just says we're on easy mode.
Looks like another typo there, Matt. Page 98. It just says... It says... There's an extra apostrophe S after its. This is Donut. Combat started!
I looked around. I didn't see anything. Do you see the monster? I asked. Donut didn't answer. I looked down at her. She stood stiffly on the ground next to me. 4 cards floated in midair, spaced equally in front of her face like a car windshield. Each card had grown to be about the size of a magazine, and they were completely blocking her view of the arena. It was the 2 Time Extend cards, the Combo card, and the Monk Seal Totem card.
Carl, what do I do? Help! I can't see! Carl! What do I do? Help! I can't see!
She had to shout to be heard over the crowd noise. Everywhere she turned her head, the 4 cards followed. She jumped to my shoulder, and the cards moved with her. Now they were blocking my view, too. The crowd started booing and hissing, but I wasn't sure if they were booing us or the monster. Next to me, Mongo squawked angrily, his voice piercing through the arena.
Go into the card menu and see if you can adjust the card's position. And try discarding the combo card. We don't want to use it.
Doesn't that throw it away? I thought we wanted to keep it for later.
We do want to keep it. You're just discarding it for this battle. You can discard 1 card every 30 seconds. A new card will pop up 10 seconds after you discard or use one. A new card will pop up 10 seconds after you discard or use one. A new card will pop up 10 seconds after you discard or use one. A new card will...
Donut was in her menu, waving her paws around frantically.
How do you know all this, Carl?
Mongo howled and rushed off.
I was paying attention, and I read the rules.
The cards suddenly got bigger, overlapping each other. The first one, the Time Extend the Time Extend utility card, moved right through my face. The thing wasn't really there.
Oh no, that's not it.
Donut said. She still had to shout.
Here we go.
The cards shrank to the size of playing cards, moved together, and then lowered, giving us a clear view of the playing field. Just in time to see Mongo fly through the air and land atop the purple, squealing monster. It fell onto its back, its little legs waving as Mongo savagely ripped through it. Blood geysered in the air, followed by a pop and puff of smoke, like the creature had been part... Blood geysered in the air, followed by a pop and puff of smoke, like the creature had been part clockwork or robot. A trail of intestines rocketed up in the air, like a line of sausages ascending into heaven. They disappeared into dust. Mongo tried to bite again, but the monster was gone, having dissipated. The raptor screeched in outrage as the crowd roared its approval, shaking the arena. The only thing that was left was a little red blood-spattered purse that also disappeared a moment later.
Combat complete! Deck has been reset! Do you wish to go again?
Well, that was a waste of money.
Carl, did you see that? I think that was a Teletubby.
Whew. Hot in here.
We tried again on easy difficulty, but this time we put Mongo away. I made Donut change the environment to Abandoned Arena, which was the same place, but without the screaming crowd. The dome over the arena now had a crack in it, and the yellow sun had turned blue. She grumbled, but complied.
I don't understand how you don't know what the Teletubbies are, Carl,
Donut was saying as we prepared to go again.
Miss Beatrice used to watch it all the time. She had it recorded on the DVR.
A little kids show? And she'd watch it? I don't remember that. That's really weird.
She would watch it and cry sometimes. Come to think of it, it was quite strange. What kids' show did you watch?
I watched all sorts, but I watched them mostly when I was a kid.
Now, that's not true, and you know it. You watched cartoons all the time, and played kid video games.
That's different, Donut. Most of those were shows made for adults. Plus, I didn't watch them and cry. That's really bizarre.
Made for adults? Dragon Ball Z is made for adults? Though I suppose that was quite odd of Miss Beatrice. Wherever she is, I hope she still has access to a DVR. She would feed me extra She would feed me extra sometimes after she watched it. Anyway, I'm glad Mongo ate Tinky Winky. He acts all innocent, but he's totally the type that'd trip. He acts all innocent, but he's totally the type that'd trip you if you were both being chased by a bear. I've been Team Dipsy since day one. He had the most wonderful hat. I wonder if this next monster is going to be another Teletubby.
Let me hear how this goes.
Made for adults? Dragon Ball Z is made for adults? Though I suppose that was quite odd of Miss Beatrice. Wherever she is, I hope she still has access to a DVR. She would feed me extra sometimes after she watched it. Anyway, I'm glad Mongo ate Tinky Winky. He acts all innocent, but he's totally the type that'd trip you if you were both being chased by a bear. I've been Team Dipsy since day one. He had the most wonderful hat. I wonder if this next monster is going to be another Teletubby. Since day one. He had the most wonderful hat. I wonder if this next monster is going to be another Teletubby.
Let's find out. Combat started, and the cards appeared. Donut remained on my shoulder so I could get a look at her. Donut remained on my shoulder so I could get a look at the hand. We only had 5 cards in the deck, and the totem wasn't one of the 4 she pulled. It was the 2 time extends, the combo card, and the stout card. If you pull a deck without a totem, you're immediately vulnerable, so make sure you either discard or use a card right away. We don't have any snare or mystic cards yet, so discard the combo card. She flicked her paw downward, and the combo card disappeared into a puff of smoke. The empty space remained in her hand, and a 10-second timer appeared in the spot, counting down.
If I use 2 cards, do they both have a timer, or is it... If I use 2 cards, do they both have a timer, or is it one at a time? If I use 2 cards, do they both have a timer, or is it one at a time?
I'm pretty sure it's one at a time, so if you play 2 at the same time, it'll take 20 seconds to get back to a full hand. We won't be able to test it until we get... more cards. Once that one fills, we'll be out. Do you see the monster?
I see the dot. He's behind that tree over there, but he's moving slow. It's not Tinky Winky again. It's something smaller.
Ding. The totem card appeared in the empty slot.
Your deck has been exhausted!
Okay, summon the totem. If he doesn't attack us, try to use all 3 of the utility cards on him. Donut reached toward the monk seal totem, but paused. She looked back at me.
I wonder if it'll be something from another kids' show. I'd really like the chance to eviscerate someone from Blue's Clues. I'd really like the chance to eviscerate someone from Blue's Clues. The only cast member of that show worth anything was Periwinkle, and they never gave him enough screen time. The only cast member of that show worth anything was Periwinkle, and they never gave him enough screen time. Plus, Mrs. Pepper was obviously pulling a Miss Beatrice on Mr. Salt. How do you get paprika and sage from that combination?
Let me hear this one more time. Whenever I have to chop up or do a lot of retakes for one line of dialogue, I gotta go back and listen to it, make sure the rhythm's good.
I wonder if it'll be something from another kids' show. I'd really like the chance to eviscerate someone from Blue's Clues. The only cast member of that...
I think it's just not quite fast enough.
I'd really like the chance to... Clues. The only cast member of that show worth anything was Periwinkle, and they never gave him enough screen time. Plus, Mrs. Pepper was obvious... and they never gave him enough... and they never gave him enough screen time. Plus, Mrs. Pepper was obviously pulling a Miss Beatrice on Mr. Salt. How do you get paprika and sage from that combination?
There it is.
Again, Donut. I haven't watched the show, so all this babbling is completely pointless. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's the problem with all these references. You're going to lose people. Now summon the damn seal.
Let me try that one more time.
Again, Donut, I haven't watched the show, so all this babbling is completely pointless. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Again, Donut, I haven't watched the show, so all this babbling is completely pointless. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's the problem with all these references. You're going to lose people. Now summon the damn seal.
There we go.
She grumbled and reached forward to touch the seal card.
Geraldo! Level 70! Monk Seal Picket Sentry is ready for battle!
The car disappeared in a puff of smoke, and Geraldo appeared, flipping through the air. The monk seal landed in the grass in front of us, squealing with kung fu noises. A boss battle-like explosion appeared in the air as he entered the arena.
Hi-ya! Hi-ya!
Geraldo shouted. He flipped again and slammed onto the ground, shaking it, then reared up, looking about. He had a 60-second timer over his head along with a health bar, even though it was full. Above that was a little symbol that might have been a little totem pole, and planted into the pole was a miniature version of our team flag. The seal sported a headband, just like in the cartoon image on the card, but it was white with red hearts on it, also mirroring... The seal sported a headband, just... The seal sported a headband. Gotta burp myself like a baby. Brr. Brr, brr, brr. The seal sported a headband, just like in the cartoon image on the card, but it was white with red hearts on it, also mirroring our flag. The seal sported a headband, just like in the cartoon image on the card, but it was white with red hearts on it, also mirroring our flag. He hadn't been wearing it when we captured him.
Oi!
He said, turning toward us.
Where the crabs at?
He waved his flippers, and I realized his body was making noises each time he moved. Whoosh, whoosh, whap. Kung fu movie noises. That's what it was. They'd added cheesy kung fu noises to all of his movements. What the hell, man?
I like it. I like it.
Donut said, waving her paws.
I wish they did that for me, or for when you punched something. It's a lot better than things simply blowing up and getting all disgusting when you punch them.
I called out to the seal.
Hang out there for a second. The enemy's on its way.
Geraldo the seal grunted and turned back toward the tree.
At least he's not attacking us. At least he's not attacking us.
Try to use the utility cards on him. Donut put her paw on the stout card and flipped it upward. It spun through the air, spinning like a ninja star, and it slammed into Geraldo with a loud trumpet fanfare, causing the seal to glow. His health bar grew longer. The word buffed appeared over the seal for a moment in a comic book-like explosion.
This is quite festive. Why can't all the fights be like this?
Donut activated the first time extend card, and it landed on the seal with another comic book explosion. Another 60 seconds added to the seal's timer. We only had one card left, which was the second time extend. Little X's appeared in the spaces where the other cards once were, indicating the deck was empty. She tried to flip the last card, but it wouldn't go.
Carl, it says uncommon totems can only hold 2 utility cards. Carl, it says uncommon totems can only hold 2 utility cards.
Huh. Good to know. Good to know.
Need more water.
Good to know. Good to know. Huh. Good to know. Huh. Good to know. Good to know. I knew there were 7 levels of rarity for the totem cards. Common, uncommon, rare, very rare, legendary, mythic, and unique. I wondered if that meant common ones could only hold 1 utility card, and unique ones, like the spider that ate Samantha, could hold a whopping 7 buffs.
Where the crabs at? Hey!
Geraldo said.
That ain't no crab!
No,
Donut said, disappointed.
I guess it isn't. It's not that magenta bitch either. It's not that magenta bitch either. Isn't. It's not that magenta bitch either.
What the hell is that? I asked, turning my attention to the blob thing that appeared from behind the tree. It started shuffling in our direction.
Oh my god, Carl! It's disgusting! And I think it's crying. Just like Miss Beatrice.
The creature snuffled forward. It was a bat-faced pig thing, but with a lot of extra skin, like one of those wrinkly Shar-Pei dogs. It stood upon thin, quivering legs. It was about as tall as my knee. The naked pink skin was bumpy and covered with infected-looking welts and moles. It moved slowly, its skin sloshing up and down.
Squonk! Level 35. Squonk! Level 35. Eastern United States region legendary creature. The squonk. The poor, pitiful squonk. This damn thing is so ugly, so miserable, that it is in a constant state of depression. It can't stop crying. It doesn't fight. It has no attacks. It smells and looks like the distended testicle of an Olympic weightlifter with an untreated hernia. Do everyone a favor and get it out of here.
Yo, man! I ain't touching that thing!
Geraldo said. As we watched, the creature rolled over onto its side, let out a large fart, and started bawling even more forcefully. Then, with a pop, it turned to water and dissipated on its own.
Combat complete! Deck has been reset. Do you wish to go again?
I'm starting to think we'd be better off at medium difficulty.
And that's another chapter. Where are we at? What time is it? 2:08. I think I can do one more chapter before we're done for today. I want to thank everybody again for coming. Really appreciate it. Where are we at? We're at 176. 176 people here. That's pretty amazing. I've never really, like, the most before this book, the most we ever did was like maybe 130 or something. And that was like after, at the time I was like, hey, if we get 200 viewers, and that was during the stream, it was unplanned. And it was Emily's idea. I said, if we get to 200, I will get that tattoo. And it didn't happen, but we came close. So that's what gave me the idea of the contest in the first place. So, I'm glad that helped hype everything up. And like I said before, you guys being here and, the more people you bring every time, the better it's going to be for us in the YouTube algorithm. And more people will see us, will see this stream who don't even know anything about DCC, right? So, the more you guys show up, the more people you bring in every day, the more we're going to extend our reach, the more popular DCC is going to get, and the more people are going to see it. So, again, thanks so much for all your support, for coming here and hanging out with me while I narrate this. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to make sure you get notifications whenever we go live. You hit that notification bell. just to make sure you get the notifications. And yeah, like the video, do whatever you can to spread it around, and check out the description of the video, because you'll find links, all sorts of links. You'll find a link to the first episode of Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon, the cinematic audio version with a full cast, sound effects, and music. That is another one of Matt Dinniman's stories, and it is pure horror lit RPG, and it's about as horrific as anything can get. We had so much fun doing the production on that one. The sound effects are epic and fucked up. The music is amazing, and there's 12 whole episodes of it. So you check out the first episode here on YouTube, or you can check out the first episode for free on our platform as well. And if you like it, you can purchase the entire series, all 12 episodes, exclusively on soundbooththeater.com. And also, it's a reminder that if you like that, you will love the Dungeon Crawler Carl audio immersion tunnel, which will be releasing the first episode, which, we're dividing it up the same way we did with Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon. The first episode will be releasing at the same time that Dungeon Crawler Carl 6, the current audiobook that I'm narrating now, releases on Audible. The audiobooks will stay exclusive to Audible, but the new the new audio immersion tunnel, which is not called cinematic audio for legal reasons, that will be exclusive to our platform. So check everything out, guys. Tons of links in the description. You can find Matt's Patreon link in the description as well. Lots of goodies. So thanks again for coming. And here goes the last chapter of the day.
Chapter 10.
We did it 3 times,
Paz said as we walked toward the nearby park, which turned out to actually be a cemetery. Paz said as we walked toward the nearby park, which turned out to actually be a cemetery.
We did it 3 times. The first time it was this thing called a carbunclo.
Yes, Stars Have Eyes. Definitely check that one out. That's on our platform too, exclusive. Let's see, how do I pronounce this? Carbunclo in Spanish. Nobody has rated this one yet.
Carbunclo.
Carbunclo.
The first time it was this thing called a carbunclo. Like a little fox with a gem in its head. It pissed off and teleported away. The second time we never even saw it. It died on its own or something. So we went to medium difficulty, and it was some chimpanzee monster called a Ka.
Qua?
QA.
Oh, no, that's not it.
QA.
Nope. Not what we're looking for. Matt, you have insight on how to pronounce this one? He might be gone. Not finding it. Not finding it. Ah, here we go. Tibetan mythology. Tempted. It's probably spam. Okay, Tibetan. Like caw. Caw, caw, caw. All right. We'll do that. Caw. And that's what I did. It was level 65. It said it was from China. Yago beat its ass. Yago beat its ass. Yago beat its ass. That seal really can fight.
We never did medium difficulty. Carl thinks we should get more cards first. It is pretty expensive,
Sister Ines said. Sister Ines said. Paz laughed.
I was talking to Osvaldo. He says they went into the room and their first opponent was a Pillsbury Doughboy. You know that little thing from the commercials? They have some lizard that breathes fire and it literally cooked it. They have some lizard that breathes fire and it literally cooked it.
Donut swished her tail.
My friend Kosia said her first opponent was an actual teddy bear. And then they moved it to challenge, and they got overwhelmed by a bunch of flying piranhas. Yeah. And then they... The monsters aren't like that. The monsters aren't like I thought... The monsters aren't like I thought they would be,
Paz said. His armor continued to clank loudly as we walked. His armor continued to clank loudly as we walked.
It's like it can be anything from TV and... It's like it can be anything from TV or video games. Not just, real mythology like they said.
Yeah, wait until you hear what this one guy Florin... Yeah, wait until you hear what this one guy named Florin is hunting.
What? I didn't hear about it.
I gave a side...
Excuse me.
I gave a sidelong glance to Sister Ines and grunted.
I think I need more water.
I gave...
Excuse me, guys.
I gave a sidelong glance to Sister Ines and grunted.
I just need more. I need more water. Matt, tell him to do it. Matt, tell him to do it. Lloyd left you wide open.
Tell him to do it. I gave a sidelong glance to Sister Ines and grunted. We'll see if he actually catches him before I say anything. It's a little blasphemous.
It's all blasphemous,
Sister Ines said. There was a strange intensity to her voice, and I finally realized she was... And I finally realized she was angry. Very angry. She'd been just a little off all morning.
Matt said, "Don't do it, Lloyd. You're too much of a wuss."
It is all a mockery of our faiths and legends. They ignore the meanings behind the myths and stories, and they just see the surface, steal it, and meanings behind the myths, and use it to... And use it to make something shiny and pretty and completely devoid of its meaning. And they mix these beloved traditions with modern fictions, things nobody ever believed to be real. It muddies the water of our stories, our histories. They don't care. These cultures and creatures are holy to people, and they are making jokes of it all.
I gave her a moment to compose herself. It's, what they do. I finally said. Even the cards themselves, Tagi cards, were considered sacred to the aliens they stole the idea from. They were never meant to be used like this.
Whew. I can't get my voice back. Yeah, the amplification. Zombie said that they listened to the cinematic, and there's a thing called the amplification that they thought would have more sound effects, which, yeah, maybe it could have, but I think that the description is brutal enough. Just scream into the void for a minute. That'll help. Maybe it will. Close.
I think it's better now. Yeah, that actually helped, the screaming. Yeah, I think it's better now. Let's see. They were never meant to be used like this. I thought of Florin and our quick conversation before we headed out. He didn't yet have any totems, but he had a quest to... He didn't yet have any... Excuse me. He didn't yet have any totems, but he had a quest to track and kill or capture a powerful unique that was terrorizing his region in Ecuador. I shook my head, thinking of it. Li Jun and Li Na were hunting an honest-to-goodness dragon, straight from Chinese myth. Katya was seeking some type of Christmas cat, but she asked me not to tell Donut yet. We already knew from Sister Ines she could be oddly sensitive about that sort of thing.
Ah! Ah! Ooh! That's a good idea.
We already knew from Sister Ines she could be oddly sensitive about that sort of thing. We approached the large cemetery. The cars around here had all stopped coming, all getting congested somewhere else in the city, though the traffic in this area was normally pretty bad, as indicated by the literal hundreds of naked, ethereal ghosts floating along the roadway, all stopped in traffic, all texting on their non-existent phones or bopping to music I couldn't hear. Mongo snapped at a guy pedaling a no-longer-there bike, and the dino managed to pull a gold chain off the man's neck.
Damn. I have not seen Justin. I chatted with him a little bit today, Sin.
Mongo snapped at a guy pedaling a no-longer-there bike, and the dino man... Mongo snapped at a guy pedaling a no longer there bike, and the dino managed to pull a gold chain off the man's neck. We all turned our attention to the large, Gothic entrance to the cemetery.
Fuck.
We all turned our attention to the large, Gothic entrance to the cemetery.
You know what, guys? I think I should stop here. I would like to keep going, but you know what? My voice is just not agreeing with me. It won't fix itself. So I think it's time for me to call it quits. Someone else said something about that. I tend to agree with you. I think the more I narrate, I think the better my voice is going to be. That's the one thing about Carl's voice is it's not my natural voice, and it's pretty low, so it does it is more taxing on my vocal cords. So I'm going to stop here, and so that we don't lose too much quality. But yeah, Matt's leaving too. Thanks for coming, Matt. Thank you, everybody else, for coming. Be sure to come back tomorrow, same time, noon Central. Yeah, I need to. You know what? Next time, tomorrow, I'm gonna have tea. I'm gonna have honey. I'll be more prepared. So, thanks again to everybody. You guys, tomorrow's Friday, so it might be a better day to get a bunch more people onto the stream. So, maybe go do your rounds, get some, get people hyped, and hopefully we can get 1,500 on one of these next streams. So, again, subscribe to the channel if you want to make sure you get notifications when we get started. Check the description below for all the links you could possibly want, including a link to our website where you can download or where you can buy some of our exclusive stuff on our platform. You can sign up for our newsletter. You can also find Matt's Patreon link down there. There's a ton of things that you can find. Even for anyone who has not listened to Dungeon Crawler Carl before, the Audible version has a link for all three or all 5 of the books that are currently available. And you can even pre-order, not yet, you can pre-order the Kindle version now, but watch out for the pre-order for this one on audio. Anyway, you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much once more for coming to hang out. And hopefully I will see you all tomorrow at noon Central. Have a good one, guys.